Hey Mixers, welcome back to another WNBA player props video. We have a 5-game slate on Taco Tuesday, so there's going to be a lot of promos tomorrow that you can pair a lot of these picks with. I do have, I think, one pick from every single game except for one game, but we'll get into that. First, we need to go over the recap, and I want to remind you that my picks will always be free to you, so I do appreciate the free little things you can do for me, like subscribing, liking the video, and leaving a comment. If you leave a comment with hashtag in the mix and choose 2 out of our best bets to hit, if those 2 best bets hit, we will put you in a cash prize giveaway that we like to do every single day. So just comment hashtag in the mix. Let me know which 2 of our best bets you want to hit. And if they hit, we'll put you in that giveaway. All right, let's jump into the recap. All right, guys, so I gave you 3 best bets the other day. One was Kamilla Cardoso over double-double. That one was scary because she had only 8 rebounds with only like 4 or 5 minutes left in the game. They were getting killed, so I just thought, maybe they'll just pull her and she's not going to get there for us. But they left her out there, and she had a teammate toss the ball towards the basket. She shot towards the basket and missed. Kamilla Cardoso got the rebound, passed it to another teammate. That teammate shot the ball and missed, and Kamilla Cardoso got that rebound. So she just bam, bam, twice in a row, really quick with the 2 minutes left in the game, 3 minutes left in the game, got us to the double-double. So that was awesome. Brittany Sykes was not awesome. She ended up having 3 assists. We took over 3.5 assists. And she got those 3 assists pretty early in the game, too, and then just never did anything else the rest of the game. I didn't watch that game. My brother was visiting, so he was in town, and so I only watched the first half of that game. So I'm not sure. I know that her minutes were way down, only 26 minutes, so I don't know what exactly was going on there. But she didn't get there for us. And then Satou Sabally over 1.5 3-pointers. Obviously, she didn't even play the game. So that was just a DNP if you bet on that one. I got really lucky because I put Kamilla Cardoso with a promo that did hit. And then I put Brittany Sykes and Satou Sabally together. So those all got refunded. So I got really lucky. And then our leans, Jonquel Jones over 11.5 points. She had 21, so she crushed that. Leonie Fibic over 2.5 rebounds. These are all altered lines. She had 4. And then Brittany Sykes over 5.5 rebounds and assists. She had 5, so she hooked that. That brings our total WNBA record up to 80, 59, and 2, which is 57.55%. So I do have a bunch of picks for you today, so let's jump into tomorrow's slate. There are 5 games. First, we have the Wings going to New York to play the Liberty. They just played the Liberty in Texas, and I think this is going to be a very different game. Well, not too different, but I do think the Liberty are going to probably win this game. I think the Liberty, after losing to the Wings and then losing to the Sun, are on a revenge tour a little bit. And what better place to start that revenge tour than at home? So I think the Liberty are going to win this game. But I think the Wings can still put up some points here because the Liberty do allow anyone to score. And even when the Liberty have the game well in hand, they relax on their defense and they let the teams kind of catch up. So that's all things to consider. I do expect that to be a kind of a higher total. And then we have the Mystics going to Chicago. They have played this team already 3 previous times. The Mystics have played very well against Chicago. Obviously, they are down several players. It looks like Angel Reese probably will play, but we're not certain on that yet. And even if she does play, is she going to play full minutes? I don't know. But the Mystics are struggling to try to get into the playoffs. And I don't think they'll be able to do it, but a win against the Sky here would help them a lot. And then the Fever heading to California. The Fever and the Sparks games have been, I think that they tend to be a higher scoring game. The Fever have been playing to the over. The Sparks have been playing to the over. So I do think this is going to favor an over here, but I do have concerns about where to go in the game exactly. So we'll talk about that as we get into the player props. And then the Sun and the Mercury. This game right now is the game I don't have a pick for. You know that the Sun are on my ban list. I will not be betting them the rest of the season. The Mercury are pretty close to the ban list because I don't know what they're doing either. So for now, I'm staying away from that game. I will let you know if I have any added plays in the pinned comment. And then the Lynx at Seattle. Seattle just played a good game at home, and now they're hosting the Lynx, the best team in the league, who do tend to play to the over in their away games. The Storm tend to play to the under in their home games, but that those stats have been busted with the Storm. So I do think this game probably will end up going over, although Napheesa Collier might not be playing. So if that does end up being the case, it might play to the under. So here are the best bets that I have for you. We're taking Paige Bueckers over 8.5 rebounds and assists. She's over in 65% of games this season. She had 10 at home against the Liberty just recently. And I do think she's going to be scoring pretty well, but they do have her line, I think, all the way up at 18.5. So I just wanted to pivot to the other stats for this one. She's very consistent with her rebounds and assists, and she really only misses against teams that don't give up assists or don't give up rebounds. The Liberty give up both assists and rebounds, so I think she should be just fine here. I have seen it at 9.5 on some books, but I also have seen it still available at 8.5. So you should be able to get that. And then Sonia Citron over 23.5 fantasy score. This one is kind of ridiculous to me. They're going up against the Sky, who they have had really good matchups against, and she's already over 50% of the time against everyone for the whole season. But she had this is her PRA. The chart is showing her PRA, and she had 25, 24, and 32 PRA in 3 previous games with the Sky. And then her fantasy score has been 36.4, 30.1, and 35.3. So she's been over 30 fantasy score against the Sky in all 3 of their previous matchups. 2 of those were in Washington. 1 of those was in Chicago. So I don't see any problem with her getting over this number. She is our thumbnail for the day. The only thing with the Mystics is their rotations are kind of weird. So if Sonia has a really good game, they play her less and feature Brittany Sykes more in the next game. Or same thing with Shakira Austin and Kiki Iriafen. Shakira Austin is featured a little bit more at home. And then Shakira Austin, or sorry, what did I say? I don't know what I said, but Shakira Austin is featured more at home and Kiki Iriafen is featured a little bit more on the road. Well, she plays kind of normally the same, no matter whether she's on the road or at home, but Shakira Austin is better at home. I did like Shakira Austin's points at 13.5. That's where the line came out, but I didn't take it, and now it's up to 15.5. I don't like it as much. So I'll be thinking about her, but I don't know if I'll be adding that or not. Next, we have Easy Magbagor over 14.5 points and rebounds. I love this line. She's over in 55% of games, over in 66% of games at home. I think we're getting this low line because her minutes have been dropping. So, but I think at home, her minutes should go back up to normal or kind of be somewhat normal at least against this Lynx team where I think that, there are going to be some heavy rotations, but I think the Storm are going to be motivated to win this game because it's very prestigious to knock off the Lynx, even if it's a home game. So I do think that the starters might play a little bit more and their bench rotation might play a little bit less. The other thing I like about this line is she could miss her points line. She could hook her points line and hook her rebounds line and still go over this line. So she can hook both of her lines and still go over this. If you can't find this, I would just do the 6.5 rebounds. I think that's a decent bet as well. Next, we have Kayla McBride under 17.5 points. This may seem crazy because with Napheesa Collier potentially not playing, Kayla McBride was over 20 points. Well, she had 20 points and then like 27 points in her 2 games without Napheesa Collier. And then she had one kind of stinker game against the Mystics without Napheesa Collier. But here's the thing. She shot like 70% in those games, like 75% in those games. That's not going to happen all of the time. And especially not against a decent defensive team like the Storm. So I think that she will have a high point total, probably over her regular line, which is normally 14.5, but I don't know if she can push it to over 17.5. So I'll take the under here, whether Napheesa Collier is playing or not. I've already bet this. I have one lean for you, and that is Angel Reese over 12.5 points. I have seen it at 13.5 in some places, but 12.5 should still be available. She's over in 61% of games, and obviously in the last 15 games, she's been playing even better. She had 17, 22, and 22 in 3 previous head-to-heads with the Mystics. And it's only a lean because maybe she's going to be on a minutes restriction, and maybe she doesn't even play at all. So this could just be a DNP. She could be on a minutes restriction, but I just feel like if she plays, there's no way she doesn't get here for us. And then I have some alt line plays for you. So these are like goblin plays that I would consider pairing with, the Taco Tuesday promotions or any other promotions that we get tomorrow. Sonia Citron over 9.5 points. She's over this in 82% of games. We're already taking her over her fantasy score, and she's already been way over this in 3 games against the Sky this year. Paige Bueckers over 2.5 rebounds. She's over in 69% of games. The Liberty do give up a lot of rebounds, and they also shoot a lot of 3-pointers. So if Paige is out there on the wing, she still has an opportunity to get some rebounds against this Liberty team. Brittany Sykes over 2.5 assists. I know we just barely bet this and she didn't come through for us, but she's over in 92% of games. She's had 5, 4, and 5 in 3 previous head-to-heads against the Sky. So I do think that there's going to be no problem like with her feeding the ball to her teammates and then those teammates actually making the basket. And then the last one here is Ari McDonald over 3.5 assists. We've played this before in the Wings game and it cashed for us. She's over in 73% of games without Caitlin Clark. She had 1 and 8 against the Sparks without Caitlin Clark. So both of those were home games in Indiana. She only had 1 and then she had 8. So the 8 was the more recent one. She's over in like, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games in a row without Caitlin Clark. So I do think that she's been playing a little bit better in the assist game, and she should be dishing this ball out probably to Aaliyah Boston a lot. Kelsey Mitchell is probably going to also get some assists from her. I hope she doesn't score as much and that she just facilitates for us. So the recap of that is our 4 best bets. Make sure to choose 2 of them in your comment for the cash giveaway prize. Paige Bueckers over 8.5 rebounds and assists. Sonia Citron over 23.5 fantasy score. Easy Magbagor over 14.5 points and rebounds. Kayla McBride under 17.5 points. And then I have 1 lean for you. Angel Reese over 12.5 points if she even plays. And then the 4 alt lines that I have right now are Sonia Citron over 9.5 points. Brittany Sykes over 2.5 assists. Paige Bueckers over 2.5 rebounds. And Ari McDonald over 3.5 assists. Thank you guys so much. Just don't forget to like and subscribe and like the video and comment down below, hashtag in the mix, choose 2 of those best bets to hit. And let's give away some cash tomorrow on Tuesday.